आदरणीय दर्शकबिन, गत बिहीबार जुलाई 9 तारिकका दिन अमेरिका नेपाल सहयोगी समाजले एक कार्यक्रमको आयोजना गरी नेपालमा गएको विनाशकारी भूकम्पपछि अमेरिकी सरकारले नेपालीहरूलाई दिएको टीपीएस टेम्परेरी प्रोटेक्टेड स्टाटस सुविधाबारे जानकारी दिन मनासस भर्जिनियामा एक कार्यक्रमको आयोजना गरेको थियो। तब प्रस्तुत छ उक्त कार्यक्रम सम्बन्धी एक रिपोर्ट।
यही जुलाई 9 तारिकका दिन अमेरिका नेपाल सहयोगी समाजले नेपालमा गएको विनाशकारी भूकम्पपछि अमेरिकी सरकारले नेपालीहरूलाई दिएको कानुनी सुविधा टीपीएस टेम्पोररी प्रोटेक्टेड स्ट्याटसका बारेमा जानकारी दिने उद्देश्यले मनासस भर्जिनियामा एक कार्यक्रमको आयोजना गरेको थियो। उक्त कार्यक्रममा USCIS का प्रतिनिधि, सिनेटर मार्क वार्नरका प्रतिनिधि, विभिन्न सङ्घ संस्थाका प्रतिनिधिहरू, पत्रकारहरू लगायत DC, भर्जिनिया, मेरील्यान्ड वरपर बसोबास गर्नुहुने उल्लेख्य नेपालीहरूको उपस्थिति रहेको थियो। सो कार्यक्रममा अमेरिका नेपाल सहयोगी समाजका अध्यक्ष पदम रेग्मीले कार्यक्रमका बारेमा जानकारी दिँदै त्यहाँ उपस्थित सबैलाई स्वागत गर्नुभएको थियो।
Earthquake about 2 months before, and the US government decided to grant Nepalese community to TPS. So today is our program based on TPS and some other related immigration issue. That's why we requested USCIS officer to come and share what is TPS and what is rest of the immigrant issue.
त्यसैगरी उक्त संस्थाका संस्थापक सदस्य तथा वरिष्ठ समाजसेवी डाक्टर अनुप पहाडीले वक्ताहरूको परिचय दिँदै कार्यक्रमको सञ्चालन गर्नुभएको थियो।
I would like to thank the America Nepal Helping Society for this very timely, important and significant opportunity to discuss matters that are of some urgency to the Nepali community. The Nepali community in the Northern Virginia area is concentrated in a number of pockets, and increasingly Manassas, Virginia is among the most dense Nepali settlements in the Northern Virginia area. And we are very proud and very happy to welcome in our midst. Just a quick background. June 24 was the day when the temporary protective status was officially approved for Nepalis. And we are all aware that the background for this is the devastation that Nepal faced starting April 25th. April 25th, and subsequently 3 serious earthquakes have taken place in Nepal. Almost 1 million homes have been wrecked. Hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people in fact, are homeless. They have no shelter. And unfortunately, Mother Nature is not done with Nepal yet. Every day, all of us call back home to hear news that there's been a new tremor, a new shake. Seismologists around the world are not certain that the geological activity is completed. And now, to complicate things even further, the monsoon rains have started. So the 3 earthquakes have loosened up the mountainsides all across the north-central part of Nepal. And the rains now are washing down the mountain soils and causing further hazards. So this is the context in which the United States government has taken notice of the plight of Nepalis so far away and has decided that this is a timely and the right thing to do. And we are very grateful to this wonderful country of immigrants that has welcomed millions and millions of immigrants into her arms over the centuries. That we are a new group, but when pain happens, when suffering happens, it doesn't know any national boundaries. And we applaud the United States government and the USCIS for recognizing that and giving Nepalis an opportunity to feel safe.
उक्त कार्यक्रममा USCIS का वाशिंगटन DC प्रतिनिधि ग्लोरिया विलियम ब्रेवार्डले TPS के हो र यसले कसलाई सुविधा पुग्छ भन्ने बारेमा जानकारी दिनुभएको थियो।
And so, unfortunately, when you talk about temporary protective status and the fact that it took an earthquake or a natural disaster for this particular designation to occur, again, we sympathize with the tragedy, but our goal is to determine for those who are eligible for the benefit of temporary protective status that they do indeed take advantage of it. So when we talk about what are some of the benefits of temporary protective status, especially if someone is here and they're here unlawfully, during the designation, the things that a person does not have to worry about is, one, that they are not removable or they're not deportable from the United States when they apply for temporary protective status, and that they cannot be detained by ICE. And even though we talk about the Department of Homeland Security, a lot of people still confuse U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And even though we all are under the Department of Homeland Security, we have separate missions. And again, so U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, one of the components when INS was broken up, even though some people still say INS, we are the ones to give the humanitarian benefits such as TPS. And briefly, later on, maybe I'll talk just a little bit about our initiative regarding citizenship, because there may be some other immigration benefits that you're eligible for and not just temporary protective status. And so we want to make sure that for all the benefits that you're eligible for, with your attorney here, assistance, that you find out what the requirements are for filing. So again, some of the other benefits certainly are that you can get an employment authorization document. And so with that employment authorization document, that would give you the authority to work. And so maybe some of you all, or maybe you know of some people who are working now, but they may not be working lawfully. Hopefully having an employment authorization document will give them the opportunity to find a more advantageous job, to find a job that pays higher wages, because you have an employment authorization document that says to the employer, I am authorized to work. You can also apply for travel authorization. And again, so we understand that in light of this tragedy, again, the benefit of TPS being put in place, there are different designations for temporary protective status. So when we talk about temporary protective status for Nepal, we are in the initial designation. There are some other countries where you may have a redesignation, and so that means that you've got the dates that would have changed from when the initial registration took place to now for when people are eligible to apply. And you also have an extension. And so, but again, when we talk about Nepal TPS, we are talking about an initial registration because TPS had not existed before. So when we talk about what are the requirements for TPS, so you have to show, as it was mentioned earlier, that TPS for Nepal is effective from June 24th of this year through December 24th of 2016, okay? And so the designation means that this period for people who are nationals of Nepal, they won't be removed, and again, as I said, they'll be eligible to apply for an employment authorization. And so you have to show some things like you've been continuously physically present in the United States since June 24th, 2015. The primary forms that you use for temporary protective status are the I-821 form, which is the actual TPS form, and the I-765 form, which is the employment authorization form. And so one of the things about U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services is all of our forms you can download, that you can download for free. And so why do I bring that up? Because when you go to download these immigration forms, you need to make sure that you are downloading them from the official government website. There are a lot of imposters out there. You know, natural disaster brings out people who are trying to scam people for their money, and so especially if you need immigration assistance, you would go to a reputable attorney, or you would find legal assistance with some community-based organizations that have applied through the immigration courts to be recognized to help those in the immigrant community with their immigration issues. And so again, when you are applying for temporary protective status, or if you already have your permanent residency and you're applying for citizenship maybe, again, if you need legal assistance, that you just don't go to anybody, that you go to somebody who understands immigration law. Maybe this is not the time to go to the attorney who practices tax law or who practices domestic violence law. That may not be the person for your immigration needs. Okay? And so when we talk about the I-821, when we talk about the I-765, there is also a fee waiver form. Now, USCIS did not always have a fee waiver form. Before, you just self-certify, saying that this is my financial condition, and so I cannot afford the filing fees to pay. And so these are my circumstances, I'm telling the truth, and you sign your name. But we do have an I-912 form, a fee waiver form, that you would fill out. Only you know your personal family financial situation. And so I know that sometimes people are a little reluctant to file for fee waivers because they feel that if I file, that USCIS is going to put my application to the bottom of the stack. And I want to tell you that that's not true at all. That if you feel that you're eligible to file for a fee waiver, that you would indeed file the application, and that you would send it with your TPS application. You would send it with the I-765 application to the designated filing location. I also want to talk about, as I said, USCIS has an initiative regarding citizenship. Now, the wonderful thing about citizenship is the United States does not make you apply for citizenship, but just think if you have been a permanent resident for 5 years or more, and you've pondered and you haven't quite made your decision yet, and you have not quite made up your mind yet that you may want to go ahead and consider citizenship. And so this is where our website becomes a wonderful resource for you, where you would look at uscis.gov and you would see, okay, the information that is available for citizenship, the information that is available for temporary protective status, or the information that is available regarding employment authorization. Or how do I even engage with the agency? You know, we live in a time where we don't want to use the website, and yet USCIS has put a lot of information out there, including the fact that we are the agency that owns the E-Verify system. The E-Verify system is an electronic system where an employer verifies that you're authorized to work. But there's a feature there, a self-check feature, where you can check your own status. So for your own security of mind to say, okay, I put in my information, I answered these questions, and the computer says, congratulations, you're authorized to work in the United States. So why do I bring that up? Because even if you're going to be applying for temporary protective status or any other immigration benefit, there are laws that protect you from being discriminated against. So with your immigration document, an employer cannot discriminate against you because you have an employment authorization document or you have a permanent resident card that we still call a green card.
त्यसैगरी सिनेटर मार्क वार्नरका आउटरिच रिलेसन अफिसर एनसी फानले यदि सिनेटर अफिसले केही गर्नु परे हामी सहयोग गर्न तयार छौं भन्नुभएको थियो.
We have 5 different offices all throughout Virginia, and each of our offices works with Virginians of all different backgrounds for different agencies. And we're kind of lucky because the Northern Virginia office is the office that works on immigration, on visas, on passports, and we also do healthcare and Medicaid issues. So if you have any issues in any of these federal agencies, you would be going through the Northern Virginia office where I work. And it's tremendously important work. We love and we live to serve all of Virginians. A little bit more about some of the other offices around Virginia. So if you have issues regarding education, or if you have a military background and you need veterans benefits or working with the Veterans Administration, you would go to a different office down in Norfolk. If you have issues with the IRS, we would send you or route you to a staff specialist in Roanoke, and so on and so forth, Department of Interior and stuff like that. But you don't have to go anywhere. You would just, go to one office and they would take care of you. So I'm happy to say that Northern Virginia would be helping with TPS applications. We definitely don't want to be driving in USCIS lanes, but we definitely work very closely together with that agency. And because we have that kind of relationship, it works very well and very smoothly. So again, we are at your service. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you need assistance of any kind. Unfortunately, we don't have any in language for Nepali yet, but I can help in Vietnamese myself, and in our office we have someone who speaks Farsi as well as Spanish. And please do not be shy or hesitant about reaching out to our office for assistance. Senator Warner, is very welcoming and very happy to be of assistance to any Virginian. Thank you very much.
त्यसैगरी इमिग्रेसन कानुनविद डाक्टर लव कार्कीले नेपालीहरूले भोगिरहेको समस्याका बारेमा जानकारी दिँदै टिपीएसले कसरी सहयोग पुग्छ भन्ने बारेमा जानकारी दिनुभएको थियो.
This is my first opportunity to work with Nepalese who have TPS questions. And basically, so far, I've had about 15 applications since June 24, and most of them come from tourist visa holders who came here before June 24, and the majority of the applicants are out of status or illegals, and there are maybe 20% are students, and another 20% are H visa holders. And basically, there are main challenges of the TPS right now. The questions are, the first one is people are very scared to file for TPS because they think that the government wants to catch you and put you in prison, which is really not true. And the second one is financial hardship. A lot of Nepalese who are working as out of status do not have good jobs, and so therefore they're sending home a lot of money that they make, maybe half of it to Nepal. So they're wondering how to pay for this. And the third question usually is whether they can bring their family members if they have TPS. And the fifth one is regarding criminal and other charges or conviction records that they have. So these are the main questions that they present. And finally, there's a lot of issues about documentation of continuous residence in the US, because most of them do not have proper addresses, because they live with somebody or they live in a basement, and they do not have proper bank accounts, or they do not have any cell phone records, anything. So these are the questions that I think for me as attorney I've been trying to tackle so that they can help apply for TPS.
उक्त कार्यक्रममा त्यहाँ उपस्थित धेरैले आफ्ना जिज्ञासाहरू प्रस्तुत गर्नु भएको थियो भने वक्ताहरूले त्यसको जवाफ दिनुभएको थियो.
Once your case has already been gone to the judge, it is very difficult to get a travel document to go back to your country. However, if your case is still pending, then you can still get a travel document to go, not necessarily to your country, but maybe to Nepal, India, or to Bangladesh, and then maybe able to travel from there to Nepal.
How long does it take to for the approval of TPS and
make a decision within 90 days? And then we do understand that because you've got so many countries applying for employment authorization, that there have been some delays, but this is where when you apply, if you have not heard a response to your employment authorization within 90 days, that you would contact our customer service department to find out, are you in the backlog, or you would check online our case status to see what the service center's current processing time is.
After 18 months, if it's not continued TPS, they lose the status for the F1 or it will continue. That is a little bit confusing for the F1 and TPS.
Remember, temporary protective status is given for an 18-month designation, and it's at the discretion of the Secretary of Homeland Security. And so that discretion is based on, after the 18 months has passed, is the condition that caused TPS still the way it was before? So will it be renewed or will it not be renewed? When you look at our website, uscis.gov/TPS, and you look at the countries that are listed, you've got some countries that have had TPS renewed, but then you've got some countries where it was not renewed. And so you have to ask yourself, by the definition of the immigration law, when TPS is over, if it's not renewed, then you are reverted back to whatever immigration status you were in prior to applying for TPS.
कार्यक्रमको अन्त्यमा संस्थाका तर्फबाट अध्यक्ष पदम रेग्मीले वक्ताहरू, सञ्चारकर्मी तथा त्यहाँ उपस्थित सबैलाई धन्यवाद दिनुभएको थियो।
अहिले यहाँहरू हेर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो अमेरिका नेपाल सहयोगी समाजको आयोजनामा सम्पन्न टिपीएस सम्बन्धी एक कार्यक्रम।